have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones, and it's so good to be with you today. So good to be with you today. Remember, we're on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And of course, you can watch us on Sundays on 15.2. And you know what we talk about is this: go to YouTube, TV33 on demand, and you can pick us up 24 hours a day, every day. Once we're in the can, that's called being put in the queue, and you just go to that date and we're there for you. You can see the shows, back shows, all the shows on the YouTube. But again, every Wednesday we're here live from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and we invite you to call us. That's right, we want you to call today because again, you're fired. Many folks are hearing that word, you're fired, all over the United States, all around particular offices outside of the United States. You're fired. So today I want to know, what is it like to hear you're fired? I'd like to know, what is it like to hear when someone says, I want to break up with you. When you leave, you walk out the door, you don't have to come back. You're fired. What happens when all of these folks are fired? When all of these departments all around the United States are fired? We're talking about hundreds of folks at a time. We're talking about thousands of folks at a time. Folks who had no idea that their jobs was on the line. Folks who had just got a house. Folks who just got a car. Folks who just got married, folks who just had a situation set up for their children. And what about the folks who are working and they got children in child care? Do you know how expensive child care is? Do you know how expensive child care is? What about the business folks who have a certain amount of business because they're the good folks that those people are going to come for their breakfast? They're going to run out on their breaks. They're going to run out for lunch. They're going to run out after work. They're going to come by, get something to take home. They're going to come out, take a date. When they're bored, they're going to come out and spend some money. What happens now? What happens now? Have you ever been in that type of situation in which you didn't know that your last day was that day? Has that happened to you? And what about all of the businesses that surround those locations, that those locations have all of those folks that every day come to that building because that's where the businesses are located? What happens? What happens now? What is called the trickle-down effect? The trickle-down effect. Where is that trickle-down effect? When does it end? When does it end? The trickle-down effect of hundreds of folks, thousands of folks at one time being told that they no longer have employment. Folks that were having good employment, making the ability to have a good income, the ability to think that if they do their jobs really wonderful, if they dedicate themselves to doing their jobs, that they're going to be there. They're going to be able to have a good lifestyle. They're going to be able to take care of their families. They're going to be able to take care of themselves. They're going to be able to have that nice whatever it is they want. that nice living environment, the ability to dress nice, the ability to have a nice, wonderful evening, the ability to drive what you may choose within your range, but it's in your range because you're working and you know how much money you're making. So you can afford to go out and spend that car note. The ability to know that you can save X amount of dollars for your rainy day, and then know that your roof is already crashing in on you, so you're not prepared for it. I'm just asking. You know, in my youth, in my time, I've had it happen. I've had that situation in which you walk out the door and told don't come back in the door no more. At some point, have it ever happened to you? And what was it like? What did your heart feel like? You know, some people, some persons, their whole thing about themselves is wrapped up in terms of what type of employment, what type of job, what type of title that they have. That boosts in their mind who they are. That boosts in their mind says, I have this type of future. That boosts in their mind that says, I've made it now. That boost that says, that woman that I've been after, I'm qualified because now I know that I can show her that I can take care of her. Or that woman that says, that man I want to get together with, I can show him I'm ready. Youngsters, they're saying, Mom, Dad, I got this job. I'm in my first year, and I'm going to be able to move out. I'm be able to handle things on my own. But if we notice, no one is exempt. No one is exempt. But we're talking about folks that are in their first or second year. But what about the folks who've been there for a long time? And the whole department is no longer going to be there. No longer going to be there. The whole department. Wasn't you. Just the whole department is wiped out. What are you going to do? Everybody now is competing for a job. Are there enough jobs to take in and to absorb all the folks who's hearing the word you're fired, or this department is no longer necessary, it's no longer needed? What's going to happen? What happened to folks who moved to be closer to that job? Had that dream that now they've hooked in, and all they've got to do is study, work hard, as we used to say, keep your nose clean, and you're going to be there. Now there's no job, no department. And you just got your evaluation from your supervisor, and the supervisor says, hey, you're doing wonderful, you're doing wonderful, you're doing great. Now you get the call, or you get the letter, the email, or whatever it may be that says you're fired. You're fired. I'm asking us to have empathy. Have empathy. Because there's a whole lot of folk that somebody know that is happening to. That is happening to. So what type of understanding are they going to need? What type of understanding are they really going to need? Because being an innocent folk, a person that had no idea that they were going to hear the word There is no more this department. It's been abolished. Who've heard the word, your services are no longer needed. Now that's those folks. But what about the folks who are high ranking? Folks who feel that they have integrity and God on their side to make sure that they still feel pride. And when they're asked to do something that they feel conflicted about, feel it's against their will, against the nature of the job title that they signed up to do, or the duties that they signed up to carry out, and they're asked to do something that's conflicting with that, and rather than follow that direction or follow that directive or follow that order, they say, you know, I resign. I resign. Sometimes when we resign because we got something else going on, we've been planning on something else. We've been tapping our toes about something else we're ready to walk to. Sometimes we can resign because it's, well, maybe it's close enough for me to get my retirement. But what about the situation that all of a sudden it comes up and you become conflicted, and now you just got to resign on your moral principles? On your moral principles. And you had nothing. You have nothing except your pride. And now, what are you going to do? When folks tell us some people are working paycheck to paycheck, we're not talking about this person that's working this job or that job or whatever, because everyone determines how they want to live their lifestyle. And regardless of the amount of dollars that you make, some people, the more dollars you make, the more dollars that you spend, because I'm going to make it up on my next check. Sometimes you may have had the ability to stash away maybe a month or two for a rainy day. But as that days get closer and you start to pull from that rainy day fund, in that last month of being able to help yourself, cover yourself, in that last 2 months of being able to help yourself, cover yourself, draws closer, what happens to you? What happens to you? What's going on with your friends all around? People that you know were doing good, that you know had landed that job, that they dreamed to be in that occupation, and know that they could potentially be there for a long period of time, or be in that situation where they're going to climb the ladder to success and get that higher position because they work hard, they're smart, they have integrity, and they know how to keep the nose clean and stay out of other folks' business and stay focused. What happens? What happens to the family members of that person that they were dependent upon that income to help them stay happy and keep, quote, that roof above the head, food on the table, bills paid? The trickle-down effect. What about those business folks who have the type of business that they require the public to come in on a daily basis, the ones that they call you their regulars, that they almost know without even having to have a problem that you're going to come by, you're going to service their business. Why? Because you're going to take their service, you're going to buy from their business, you're going to come by to say hi, and you're going to buy something. That business owner and its employees, they know that they have X amount of dollars coming in from the regulars, and as the word of mouth from the regulars spread to the regulars' friends, they're going to get padded with some more money. But it's going to be there. They know some days they have what is called a slow day, but they know basically they're going to make that money because they're offering wonderful service. They got good product, good situations there for people to buy. And they're going to do well. What about the folk who work on tips? Because their personality is such that folks like to give them something extra. Well, what happens now when you come into those situations and you don't have that something extra? Because now you're just trying to hold on. You are just trying to hold on. And that person that's able to still have that occupation is still able to be of servants to you, still giving you that wonderful service with that smile, making you feel special. And when it's time to pay for what you have been prepared, what you ordered, and they say, are you going to do 10%, 20%, or 30%? And for those who always say, well, I always give more than that. Great. What about all those hundreds and those thousands of folks now who are unemployed? And now the competition for those jobs, because all of these folks were the type of folk that people in job situations or offices handled. They wanted them. Businesses wanted them. Departments wanted them. People who wanted to have folk that they could kind of teach to a business wanted them. Where are they going to find these opportunities now? Where are they going to find these opportunities now? If it was rough trying to find that position and there were other openings, now you've got hundreds of folks that are looking for that same position. Now you got potentially thousands of folks that are looking for that same position. Oh, but by the way, those departments that was hiring or was employing, they're gone. Now, where do you look? Where do you look? I'm just asking, family. You say, Billy, why do you keep asking these questions, family? Because we're in a new world now. We are in a new world now. And that we have taken for granted, that's just going to be okay. Let's truly tune in to what is going on and how it can affect you. How about when that date comes up? You know, that date in which your checks are processed, and you know you may get it on early return, or you may get it in the mail, and you've got everything dependent on that date, that you may go to the bank early, because when they know that it's automatic deposit, you sometimes go a little early, a couple of days early, or you know that day that mail person is going to drop off that money. You spent money according to that date that you're going to be refreshed with some fresh money. And those departments that may still be in operation have now had all of their staff cut way back, and now there is a delay. Now there is a delay. How would a week delay in you receiving your money? How would a week delay in you receiving what you know as a automatic deposit? How would it affect you if that check that you know is supposed to be there, but it's going to be a week delay? Because there is a staffing issue. Because there is a staffing issue, things are not being processed as readily, as quickly, as on time as before. What happens when they say there's a freeze on the account that puts money in your automatic deposit, or there's a freeze on the account that puts money in the mail for you to receive your check? How does the trickle-down effect affect the others? Because, family, what we're talking about is, now are we going to go into the mental illness? Are we going to go into the persons now all around that's going to go into deep depression? All that happiness, all that joy, all that being able to contribute to other folks' welfare, all that ability to help other folks because they were doing really well? What about the trickle down or trickle out effect? How is that going to affect other folks in their minds? How about the people that you just knew that if you had a problem, you always could turn to them for help? And we always, some of us always run into a problem now and then, and we always know that we have someone, family, friend, or under, that may be able to help us out now and then. But now that person has heard the word, "You're fired." Or that person has found out that that department that's been good to them has been abolished. The trickle-down effect, how is that going to affect folks? You know, sadness is sometimes attached to the fact that you can't pay your bills. Sadness is sometimes attached to the fact that when you look in your refrigerator and your groceries in your cabinet has gone low or nil. Then what about those food pantries when they're cut off? When they're cut off, people that's been able to go and supplement their food, their supplies by knowing that there's different places that you can go and pick up food and supplies, because there's groups that are set up to help you in that fashion. What happens when those groups and their assets are put on froze, the freeze? Family, the trickle-down effect. The trickle-down effect. I'm going to trickle this way because I want to let you know you can watch the Talk B. Jones every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11. And also, you can watch it on Sundays on 15.2 from 4 to 7 on Sundays, from 4 to 5 on Sundays. And you also can go to YouTube, TV33, on demand, and you can pick us up there. We ask you to talk to your friends, and we'll do it twice. I want to say happy birthday to my father. Family, we know him as Big Ike. I want to say happy birthday to my baby brother, Sputnik. Y'all know him as Sputnik. Yes. And I also want to say happy birthday a day early to my other brother, Daryl. That's right. All of them was born father, my baby brother on the same day, my other brother the next day after. So they all clustered up. But right there, let's get ready to take the commercial break. Be back on the Talk B. Jones. I am Billy Jones, and keep that trickle-down effect coming to keep me live all around the world.
You don't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk B. Jones.
Clean up on aisle 5. Sounds like my life right now. Just one big mess.
What's going on?
It's my property taxes.
What?
I am behind, and I am so worried that I'm going to lose my house. I can pay some of it, but I can't pay it all at once.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm Eric Sabri, the Wayne County Treasurer. The last thing I want is for anyone to lose their property to tax foreclosure. We have assistance programs to help. Visit us at treasurer.waynecounty.com, and we'll help you keep your home. We're here to help.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Billy E. Jones, Talk B. Jones. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WHPR TV 33 Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Matter. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
I'm prolific. Generational wealth. No risk, no reward. All entrepreneurs, get yours personalized with your business's name or logo. Order yours today. GenerationalWealthForLife.com or call 313-220-9433. That's 313-220-9433. Generational wealth. No risk, no reward.
You know what it is, generational wealth.
I'm prolific.
Have to go anywhere because this is the Talk B. Jones.
This is Talk B. Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones, and I tell you what, we are feeling so good, so fine, so happy today because what? We're able to talk to you live from TV 33, WHPR, WHPS. Remember, the Talk B. Jones, we on live every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11. And, of course, you can watch us on Sundays on 15.2 from 4 to 5. And you can go to that YouTube, TV 33 on demand. That's right. We do it like that all around the world. And once again, I just want to say to you, it is such a wonderful time because sometimes they say that when things are tough, when things are bleak, you have to understand God has his plans. When you think that you just can't step no more, remember, God has his plans. There were times when it was in the Depression era and folks didn't know that God had his plan. So I say all of this to tell you, don't give up. Don't give up. The devil may be stepping high from time to time, but don't give up. Don't give up. It's time to go ahead and get your strength up. Put a smile on your face. Knock the dust off. It may seem that everything is down on you right today. I'm talking to my family, my friends that have heard that word. You're fired. And just remember, you're not the only persons in this world. You're not the only persons that have had your dreams snatched from you. You're not the only person that everything looked bleak. You're not the only person that have had the ability to land that dream situation and know that you just got it because you're talented. You're blessed. And everything is working just like the plan that you had. You got everything coming to you. And for no reason, nothing that you did to cause it, it's snatched from you. But you don't give up. You don't give up, family. You got to straighten up and know the hurricane done hit you in the face, but guess what? There are survivors. There are survivors. And you can be a survivor. You may have to scratch a little harder. You may have to open your eyes and look a little stronger, longer. You may have to use your ears a little bit more. But you see, you don't want to put that frown on your face. You don't want to go into being all down on yourself because you ain't did nothing wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. Now, I'm not trying to get into nobody's religious perspective, but remember, God has a plan. And remember, God works within you. Everybody has a God within them, regardless of who you are, what you are, and how you pray. No matter whom and where you are, God works from within you. And when you are challenged, what do? You go within you. Nobody can carry you. You got to pick your own self up and believe in you and know that things can be turned back around the way that you had it before. If you were a provider, you can be a provider again. If you had dreams and your dreams started to come true and this situation has knocked you down, get on up. Mom and Dad always told me we fall down, but we get up. You get knocked down, but you can get up. Nobody can have the control of you except for you. If you feel that you are who you are, and I know if you heard the word I'm fired, or this business, or this situation, the businesses that have gone out of business that you had no reason, nothing to do with that, but they went out of business, or the department is no longer there because it's been abolished because they want to do something different, or because out of 100 jobs, they decide to only keep 50, and you were one of those that said, we're going to let you go. And you're still breathing. You still got life. You can stay within your right mind. I say you can stay within your right mind. When you get despondent, and mired into having all this being, I just can't do it. I don't know why it's happening to me. Now you can just come out of that. You can come out of that and understand that the only way and the only thing that's going to make a difference is you. That's the only thing and the only way that you're going to be able to weather this storm. And it's just a storm that's blowing your way. So get up. Get on up. Don't think about laying down and going through this oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my. Let's go, family. Let's go. Some folks was told pull yourself up by your bootstraps when they had no straps to pull up. Huh? Are you understanding where we're coming from? We could talk about the academies. We can talk about the Super Bowl. We can talk about all the other good things. We can talk about the I'm not doing that. This is the time that I want to speak to you. I want to speak to my family around the world. I want to speak to my family in the city, because things are happening all over in this fashion. And if it hasn't happened yet, the trickle-down effect means what? That is going to be happening potentially in your city. Because when they start drawing the drawstrings, everybody starts to feel it. It may take a moment or three, but everybody starts to feel it. Tighten up. Stay strong. Don't get down on yourself. Don't feel the pity-patty. Don't lay down and just cry and say, oh me, oh my. Because that's not going to get you nowhere. That's not going to get you nowhere. And just like when the airplane is coming down and they say, oh, we got a problem here, and the mask drops down, that gives you some oxygen. You don't take that mask and put it on your baby. You don't take that mask and put it on your mama because she's sitting right there next to you. You don't take that mask and put it on your daddy because you love your daddy and he's feeling kind of poorly before you got on the plane, but you're going to put the... You don't do that. You put that mask on you. You put that mask on you. You get that oxygen on you, because if anything is happening and you don't put the mask on you, how are you going to help somebody if you don't help yourself first? Think about that, family. So if it's happening to you, you don't have time to water, to just, when I say to just wallow. When we're sitting back and we're watching the folks report the news, and they're saying, I don't know why these things is happening. They know why it's happening, but everything has to be dragged out. Why? Because that's entertainment to keep you coming and watching them talk about what the situation is. And it's like reading a book you don't just open the book and go to the end to find out. They don't do it that way. They give you chapters and chapters and chapters. And when you're talking and dealing with folks who all they care about is one thing, and that's for the betterment of themselves, believe me, they have studied and have a plan. And for those who feel that they have to analyze and analyze and analyze and analyze, with those who got the plan, that's what they want. It's entertaining to them. Entertainment, because guess what? As you're analyzing, you're showing the folks that got the plan exactly what you're thinking about how they are doing their plan. And they're laughing. They're laughing. And it's okay. And it's okay. Because even though there is a plan and it may hurt you, there's still space for you. There's still space for you. You just may have to go a little bit different than the direction that you was headed in. It's called the new day. It's called the new way. It's called you fell back 2 steps, but you can still move forward. You can move forward. We all know what we want, but they'll tell you we don't always get what we want. But if we don't get what we want, then sometimes we can adjust and decide, well, I can't get what I want, but I want that right there. I'll take that right there. Because that right there is going to help me to survive. Because that right there is going to help me to provide for my family. Because that right there is going to help me to just stay up in my mind, feel good about me, feel good about the things I'm doing. We make the adjustment. We make the adjustment. You can do it. Because they say sometimes you don't have a choice. And when I say you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice if you lay down and go through the pity-patty party. You don't have a choice when you decide to fall down and lay down and just wallow in it. You don't have a choice when you let your mind start playing games and start playing tricks on you. Or you can be the person that you know you are. Get your shoulders up. Get your chest out there. Get them hips moving, ladies. Get that body, get that walk. Get that strength. Get that smile on your face. Get that personality that you know is still there within you. What made you and other folks want to be around you, want to be with you? Was it your personality? Was it your quickness? Was it your wit? Everyone have their own particular gifts that make people want to say, I like that person. Even those people who got that plan that's making it hurt you, that makes it hurt you, can look out and say, you know what? I got space, I got room for that one right there. You can be that one that they say, I got space for that one. And then you find there's others who will have space for others. So don't be with the doom and the gloom. Don't sit back and say, well, I only have enough money to last me for a week or two. Well, while you're sitting back moaning and groaning and watching your investment of a week or two monies start to shrivel up, get out there. Get out there. Make something happen. Make something happen. Where is that heart? Where is that drive? Where is that energy? It's still there. You want to make it happen. Yeah, you walked away because you had integrity. Yeah, you resigned because you felt it wasn't right. Okay. Okay. Now, what are you going to do? You take that same energy, you take that same pride, you take that same perspective of who you are, and you apply it. You apply it to the next phase in your life. If nobody else have something for you, make it your own. Because if you were in a position where you were able to resign, that means that you had a certain skill set. That means you had something to offer. The job gave you a regular check that you knew you was going to be paid. But you have a skill set. You know how to make things happen. Put it together. Put it together. Make it happen. Be your own person. Family, we're in a different world now. Things are changing. The trickle-down effect. The trickle-down effect. The businesses, the service-oriented businesses that waited for folks to come into their doors. The folks that worked inside of those service type of businesses that waited for folks to come in to those businesses for them to service. Things are changing because the folks who are walking in that door are going to have a different form of ability to say and show you that love, because the extra fluff that they had in their wallet, if it was cash, if it was the credit card, may not be as thick, may not have as much as before to give you as much love as they used to. Then you always have that person that's still doing good. Will look around and look at you and know that you may be struggling a little bit because they know everybody else may be down a little bit, but they still up. And guess what? They may decide to double up, triple up what they normally would do for you. There's always a way. Mr. J.D. Hill always said there's always a ram in the bush. There's always a ram in the bush. Mr. J.D. Hill always stated that. So when you stay up and you keep pushing and you stay positive, family, you always have the potential to run into that ram in the bush. That person say, you know what? I need your services. I like your style. I got this going on and I'm going to need you to help me with this. Because there's always someone up and coming, no matter what the decade is. And no matter what that decade is pushing other folks into a different lifestyle. That's the way the world works. Huh? So let us rejoice in these opportunities that are coming your way and will be coming your way. You may not see it right now. You may not see it right today. But when you open your eyes and you keep your mind alert and you keep that selfish pittiness out of your mouth and you stay out of that crab in the barrel, seeing your friend climbing up, but you want to pull them back down because they may look like they're going to come out of the situation greater, better than you. We've gone through the situation of folks saying, I can do greater, better all by myself. I don't need nobody else. We may have to kind of change our thought with that. But that's called making an adjustment. That's called making an adjustment. And in life, as we move forward, we will learn to make adjustments. Does it change you? Does it change the person that you are when you make an adjustment? No. It makes you a greater, wiser person because you're adding another dimension to your life, to your understanding of life. So if you've been knocked down, and many of us have been knocked down, some of the greatest athletes, some of the greatest political folk, some of the greatest business people, some of the greatest marriages have been knocked around. But they got back up, got back together, made things happen, and went on and said, oh my goodness, what a great life I have. You can do it too. Just don't get down because they're saying, you're fired. This department is not going to be here no more. This business, it looks mighty shaky right now because the trickle-down effect means folks are not coming in and spending the money like they had, and I'm not able to pay my bills, which means I can't pay my employees. The trickle-down effect. You don't have to let the trickle-down effect knock you out of your right mind. You don't have to let the trickle-down effect put you into the world of misery. Make the adjustment. Keep God. Keep your spirit. Keep your energy. And you say, Billy Jones, what the heck is it that you keep talking about God? I'm going to say this real quickly. My daddy, I told you. For those who don't know, I told you. My daddy died, was actually dead, 15 minutes, dead. God and the folks at the staff at the hospital brought him back alive. And my daddy came back a whole man. Nothing was missing. And when I talk to him about what I see is happening out here, when I tell him about what I'm seeing that's going on in the political world, when I tell him about things I'm seeing in the business world, and I'm seeing all the negativity, and I'm seeing all the bleakness, and what's going to happen, and my father tells me, God has a plan, son. He's going to make it all right. And I'm here to tell you, every time I thought everything was going down, God's plan changed it and brought it back up. My daddy never lied. So I'm saying the trickle-down effect, make it an adjustment and live. Stay strong, family. This has been your Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy E. Jones. Remember, we're on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 on TV 33 WHPR. You can go to R.J. Watkins' page. You also, remember, on Sundays on 15.2 on WHPR, WHPS, and YouTube, TV 33 on demand. We have nothing but love for you. And once again, I want to say happy birthday to my father, to my brother, Spud, well, Big Ike, Spud, and also my brother, Daryl, who will have a birthday the next day. Love y'all. Spread the love. Give me the shares. Give me the likes. Let's make this a hit on the Talk Beat Jones. Billy E. Jones, love you. Gotta go. Bye now.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.